Welcome to another episode of They Lied About Entrepreneurship. Today we have my girl Felicia in the building. How you doing, Miss Felicia?
I'm wonderful, blessed and highly favored, honey. Blessed and highly favored. And what about yourself?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I'm excited to have you here.
Oh, I'm excited to be here, honey. Anytime you're talking about entrepreneurship,
Right.
the excitement level just goes up. You know?
Right.
It goes up.
Right. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, tell the people, because I know
Okay.
some stuff. You do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, at age 21, I opened up my first home daycare. So I've been in the childcare industry for about 23 years. I retired and closed down the daycare about a year ago. I'm also in trucking. I got into that because I inherited that business when my father died. So I've been doing that for about 10 years. And my mother was running the trucking company. She passed away last year, so that put me to be running the trucking company. So I just basically went from babysitting little kids to babysitting grown men. So, that's just a little bit about me. So those are the two main things in life that I've done, childcare and trucking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do something with some kids and basketball?
Yes, and I have a basketball league as well.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, seems like you come from a line of entrepreneurs, but you started pretty early. So,
Yes.
my first question is like, what were you doing before entrepreneurship, and what kind of like led you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just do my own thing?
Okay, so first of all, my father was an entrepreneur. So he was in real estate, he built houses, and he also was a pastor. So coming up in the summertime, like my sister and I weren't like the average kids. Like we are writing out receipts, we're going to pick up rent money, like we're hauling wood. So entrepreneurship is like in my blood anyways. So, coming up, I always knew when I got out of high school, like everybody else was like, oh, I'm going to college, get a degree. And I'm like, yeah, I got pregnant and I was like, yeah, no college and no degree, definitely. And so I ended up getting married, having a child and going overseas to Germany. And then when I got to Germany, I ended up working in the daycare and just realized I loved kids. And I'm like, that's what I need to do. Okay. Like kids are my passion. And I always said coming up, I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I got out of high school and looked at the teacher salary, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Right.
So, it just didn't make sense. So, so I went into the childcare industry.
Okay.
And it's one of those industries, I enjoy industries that I know are for everlasting, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
So everybody's going to always be having kids,
Correct.
And so I know that if you're going to be having a kid, my family's going to always eat. So, so basically that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So at any point during your journey, do you feel like, because the purpose of this podcast is to talk about the challenges in
Right.
entrepreneurship. So was there at any point you was like, I'm about this thing, like I'm done, maybe I'll go be that teacher?
Yes. So, when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have days, I joke with my friends all the time. I'm like, oh, today was one of them days I want to be a Walmart greeter, honey. Because, drivers done got on my nerves, the kids crying, daycare kids crying. But I never really just had that moment where I was like, I'm done. But, kind of, sort of, but not really. You know what I'm saying? I just take the challenges and I just go with it.
Right.
Because I don't want to be the Walmart worker. I don't want to be the school teacher, and I want to be able to kind of, work on my own time. But it can get very, 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 very tedious.
Right. So yeah, things do get hectic.
Yes.
And, a lot of that is not talked about on social media, which I don't know why, but I kind of have a problem with that. I feel like people... You don't tell all your business, but I feel
Right.
like people should be more transparent about what entrepreneurship really is.
Definitely.
And, how they deal with things. Everybody deal with things differently.
Right.
Some people feel like they have to completely disappear, and others are like, y'all gonna rock out through this thing with
Right.
me. You know what I mean? And so, like, when it comes, in the last year, a couple of years have been kind of challenging for most. Like, what has been your kind of like go-to to deal with some of the challenges?
God, like literally.
Yeah.
Like I'm very, very, my dad was a PK, so I'm very, 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 very spiritual. So I'm just, I cry out to him.
Yeah.
I try not to, in business, like, I try to be very, very careful about, put in all the negative and, you know, talk with my friends and stuff like that. I try to just go to God and I'm like, look, I just need you to handle this, you know, handle this driver, handle this truck breaking down, you know, whatever the case is, just handle that. So I do a lot of crying out to him, talking to him. And that's how, you know, that's how I've gotten through. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm 44 and I haven't worked a job since I was 21. Like, and how I got through it was God. Nobody but him. And that's that's me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's me. Babe, I'm talking about cry out, be like, ooh, like for real.
Right.
So so that's how I handle my challenges. And I get up and go. You know, I tell people all the time, like, business will knock you down. For real, you will get knocked out. I'm talking about like a Floyd Mayweather knockout.
Right.
But the thing is, do not sit. Don't just sit there. You got to get up. What you sit down for? When you're knocked out and you don't get up, there's no money being made.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, you know, if you hide on emotions, I tell people all the time, everybody's like, oh, you know, I want to be a business owner. I want to be a boss. I want to do this. I want to do that.
You may not be ready for that.
You may not be ready for it.
Right.
For real. It's very, it comes with a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing too, is like sometimes people, and you know, I recommend that people do take breaks and sit down and sit back and reevaluate things, reset, do whatever it is that you need to do. But I think some people sit down, they get stuck, they take breaks, and then they don't get back up. And that's where the problem comes in for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they just sit and you can't do anything sitting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my thing. When you get knocked out, get up. I even tell my kids that, like, it's fine to have a moment, but what we not gonna do is have hours and days. You know, we have to get up. So it's like that in business, man. You take the punches. Right. You know. Right. You take the punches and you just go with the flow. Right.
Right. So what do you have? Like, what other business ventures are you planning to get into, or are you just kind of like, you good right now? Well, trucking is kind of, people are talking. You know, trucking is. You know,
women are taking over the trucking industry. Trucking is very, very big, and I'm very, very big on being in an industry that's going to always feed my family. And trucking is an industry I'm going to always eat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Trucking has so many different levels. You could be a broker, you could drive a truck, you can drive a van. It doesn't matter. So there's so many things that you can do in trucking. Right. So, you know, I'm definitely focused on that and making that bigger. Okay. I'm branching out to do that and make that bigger. I'm also a life insurance agent, and I'm gonna start promoting that more, because in the African American community, for some reason, you know, we die and we just feel like we need to go on social media and beg for some money. Okay. And that, you know, I've been doing that for 6 years part time. Okay. So I'm really passionate about it, but I want to work a little bit harder on that, helping our community get life insurance and understand life insurance. Right. So there's not so much, you know, GoFundMe out there, chicken dinners, and they running out of chicken, girl, in the store. Right. So I'm like, baby, y'all talking about chicken dinners? Yeah, there's a shortage of chicken for real in the stores. Right. So, you know, besides that, I'm really working on trucking. Yeah. That's my big thing, working on that, making that bigger, and getting out here and just letting people really know about life insurance. Yeah. You know, I think that is really big. Yes. Just insurance in general. Yes. You know, I'm not going to touch on, you know, the people that feel that they need to keep their 9-to-5s because of their benefits. And, you know, benefits are amazing, but you can get benefits, you know. But anyway, but when it comes to life insurance, we definitely, the word needs to be, we need to talk more about life insurance. Yeah. And for kids, you know, for kids on a, not just, you know, so yeah. Yeah. So when you gonna have a workshop or something? Oh, there you go, Mika. Always try to push somebody to have something. That's good. You need that type of person. I don't know. You know, I don't know. That would be something good to have. Yeah, you gotta make it cute though, because you know they don't want to hear it. Oh yeah. Oh, they don't want to talk about it. Right. They don't want to talk about it. But my insurance clients, like, they know. Like, when I sit down and do a presentation, like, we are laughing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. People don't want to think about death. They don't want to talk about death, but it's going to come. It's going to happen. And if you are prepared when it comes, then you'll be fine. But if you're not prepared, then you're going to be off of that, what they call that little leave that they give you, family, FMLA. Yeah, you're going to be off that little time, you know, trying to collect your little vacation hours, you know, and you just buried a son or a daughter or a husband, and then you got to go back to work. Right. But if you would have sat down with Felicia, got your little $500,000 policy, you could have told their job goodbye. Right. You know, then we, you know, after you agreed, then we would talk about some business stuff. Right. You know, so it's it definitely needs to be talked about. But when I sit down and talk about it with my clients, like, we are literally just, it's a good time. It's no, you know, when I go in, I don't want you sad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna crack a joke as soon as I get in there.
Right.
So, you know, people are scared to talk about it because people are scared to talk about death.
Right.
You should be
scared to talk about reality. Death too, but reality in general.
Yeah. So my thing of it is, I would be scared not to talk about it.
Right.
Than to talk about it, because there are a lot of sad situations. People are burying their kids. They don't have money.
Right.
They got to go back to work the next week. Like, when do you have time to grieve?
Right.
You don't have no money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm big on insurance. I'm very, 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 very big on life insurance. Yeah.
And so, speaking of, I know last year you lost your mom.
Yes, I did.
How did you
I cope with that? Okay, so God, girl, like, literally, like I said, I came up in the church. So she had cancer, so we knew that she was gonna, you know, whenever you can be prepared for something, like, you can kind of prepare your mindset. So before she left, I kind of put myself in a position to where I made it seem like she was already gone. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I started doing stuff. Like I said, she was over the trucking company, so I started taking over that stuff that she was doing. But I put myself in a mindset of, you know, mom's here, but she's really not here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So when she did pass, I pretty much had kind of sort of already grieved while she was still alive. Okay. So it didn't hit me as hard. But when she did pass away, it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. Like I said, it was a knockout for sure, because that's your mom.
Right.
And then she ran the business too, so it was like, like, trucks, like, girl, I didn't want to deal with that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then my husband work together. So then that puts me to work with my husband in trucking. Right. And I'm like, oh God, like, I don't know what the plan is, God, but me working with my husband, like, that wasn't even a plan. Like, I was fine at the daycare. He's driving his trucks. We was putting the money together. I was good with that. But God, you know, once she closed her eyes, girl, you know, it just, man, I cried out to God, and I'm like, you know, like I said, I had already kind of trained my mind to say that she was gone. So it didn't take me, the hit wasn't as hard. Okay. But it did knock me out. Yeah. But you know, she had some life insurance, so she was like, one thing she asked me, she said, you help everybody, Felicia, you do this, you do that, you do that. Promise me when you die, you'll take some time off. Like, you're gonna be able to do that. You're gonna be able to afford yourself that. Yeah. Mind you, I could afford myself that a little bit with my business, but I'm just the type of person, I'm high energy. I like to be moving around and going out of this. You know, I just can't see it, child. That's just not me. Yeah. So when she passed away, it's funny because I told my husband, I said, we're gonna take a week off. Let's just take a week off, girl. Like, day 2, I was on my husband's nerve. He was like, man, this ain't off. You running me to the restaurant? You wanna go to the mall? Like, this ain't off. Like, nah, I'm finna go back to work. And I was like, yeah, being off is just not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I tried to just sit at home one day and watch TV and, like, watch Lifetime movies. Girl, I was like, yeah, this is not, I'm gonna go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, you know, I took the knockout and I got up. Right. It just is what it is. I can't stay down. I have kids to feed, you know, I have a husband. Right. And I have businesses to run. So, so that was probably the most challenging time in my life, being a business owner, is losing my mother. But, you know, I got through it. Yeah. I got through it.
So what about burnout? Have you ever experienced burnout? Because you just want to go.
Nah, well, I rest good. I sleep good now, honey. Okay. I go to bed early now, child. So when everybody's up, like, you know, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning working on business, I've been in the bed by like 8, 9. So I get my rest. Yeah. So it's not, I wouldn't even really say burnout, because I make sure that I get my rest. Yeah, people that know Felicia, they know, oh, it's 8:02. Oh, yeah. We'll call it in the morning. Yeah. By 5 o'clock, though, I'm that person. 5 a.m., oh, I'm up. Yeah. You know, bright and early. But burnout, no. Yeah. Yeah, no burnout. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So what advice would you give someone that wants to start a business or newly starting a business, and they're either scared or they're unsure or whatever? Like, what advice or what, like, words would you have to give to them?
Well, first of all, scared money don't make no money.
Not a dollar.
Scared money don't make no money. And my thing of it is, if you don't start, you just never know. You know, if you don't start, I think a lot of people don't start businesses because they're in fear of, you know, oh, you know, I don't want to leave my job that's paying me $20 an hour. You know, you're scared about money. But I always tell people, if you're going to start a business, you know, you don't want to just walk off from your job, but you want to have a plan. So if you're making $3,000 on the job, how can you start doing the business while you're at the job to be making your 3,000 and then put you some money up in the bank and then walk away from your job? So it's always a system to me. But I always tell people, start. You only live one life. You only live one life, and when you're gone, honey, I don't know nobody that done left here and came back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you literally have to start. You can't live in fear. If I listen to people, like, I started my business at 21, like in an apartment. Like, if I listen to people like, oh, you should go to college. All my friends were going to U of H and TSU. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. And like, so many of my friends have degrees, but so many of my friends have not touched the money that I've touched.
Right.
They just haven't. And they owe student loans and just a lot of crazy stuff. So if I were to listen to them back in the day, don't do that, go to school, get a degree. Yeah. So no, you can't live in fear.
Right.
If that's your dream, I don't care what it is, you make it happen.
Right.
You figure out a plan and you make it happen.
Right. I agree. I've been telling people for years, like, you start where you are with what you have.
There you go.
A lot of people want to come with this business plan and, all of this money. And, if you don't have the money to invest, you have to start where you are with what you have. You can't build a business, with your favorite auntie and your favorite cousin supporting you, right? You can't cry about support. You just got to do what you got to do, because there are so many people out here in this world that are waiting to support whatever it is that you have.
Exactly.
But a lot of people get caught up in their feelings.
Yeah.
Get out your feelings and get in your bag.
Yeah. There's definitely no feelings when it comes to money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You definitely have to, and you hit on something, a key word, family. Family ain't gonna support your child. Don't even.
And they don't, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. Don't ask me for no money though. Don't ask me for.
Ask you.
Oh, they gonna ask. Don't ask me for no money, child. You want us to support, but I can't pay no light bill. I ain't got it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, family and supporting,
Yeah. And then a lot of people get caught up too, and like, people gonna judge me. Oh, I was doing this. Now they judging you anyway.
Yeah.
And you can't call them to help you pay your bills. So let them do what they're set out to do.
Exactly. And I always tell people that too. I'm like, a lot of people come to me for advice and they're like, such and such think this and such and such think that. And I say, man, let me tell you something. A long time ago, I guess God put into me, I don't give a damn what people think about me.
You can't.
Like, I literally, I don't care. If I was on a stripper pole, if I was in a whole house, no, seriously, like, I don't care what people think about me.
Right.
God created me, and the only person that I care who thinks about me is God and my kids and my husband.
Yeah.
Outside of that, if you could get that in your head to not care about what people think about you, you can go so far. I'm telling you, you can go so far. Somebody can be right in my face talking about me, child, please. I'd be like, girl, go, I want to take care of the child. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. And I think, too, that's why I've been so far in life, because I don't. Girl, I leave the BS. Girl, what you think about me? Okay, girl. Yeah. Okay, but I got the Mozzie. I got the businesses. I got some money.
Right.
Okay, what you got? Okay. The job. Okay. The bus line. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't let all that's negativity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I stay far away from that. Like, I stay, girl, when I hear something negative, baby, I take off running. For real. Yeah. I ran track, baby. Please. What you say? Broke. I'm gone. Me. Baby, please. I'll be out of there like Flojo, girl. So when you're a business owner, you don't have time for all of that.
You don't.
You don't have time for negative. I teach my kids and myself. It's positivity all the time. I don't care how the situation looks. Speak positive.
Right.
I don't care.
Exactly.
Speak it.
I thank God no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I don't know what's going on, but I trust you.
Yeah. Because He gonna take care of you.
Absolutely.
It's in the Bible. He said it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never lived on a bridge with your kids, have you?
Never.
Have you been eating every day?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Real good.
Exactly.
Good.
Okay, honey. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, no. Yeah.
All right, lady. Well, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Yes.
Like, we might need to do this again. The Meek and Felicia show. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yes, I enjoyed. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, but before we end though, so like, is there anything you have coming up or going on that you want to talk about, that you want to promote, other than the life insurance? Because y'all know I'm a bully kind of a little bit, so I'm gonna be on her about this class. Yes.
I really don't have anything that's coming up, to be honest with you, but the life insurance, like, we need to, not just life insurance. When my mom got cancer, there was a lot of different other insurances I learned about that I want to tap into, and long-term care insurance. Like when my mom went to, I had to put her in a hospice care. She had a couple dollars in the bank, so the people was like, "Oh, it's $5,000 a month," and I'm like, $5,000 a month? But thank God she had money. So the long-term care insurance, if she would have had that, that would have paid the $5,000.
Okay.
That, and then also something called hospital insurance. And I got all of these insurances. My husband is like, "I think you are addicted to insurance." I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Our family's good." It's called hospital insurance.
Okay.
And when you are in the hospital, my mom used to have me go and check, like cashing these big checks. I used to be like, "Girl, you selling dope? Like, what's going on?" I'm talking about like $9,000-$10,000 checks. And come to find out, it was a hospital policy that she had for years.
Okay.
Because throughout the year she had been sick.
Okay.
And so when you go into the hospital, they pay like $1,000 a day. And if you're in ICU, they pay $1,500 a day.
Okay.
And they don't max out on anything. You know, she had it for years, and so that's another insurance that I learned about that I want to start. You know, teaching our community about, because on social media, like, I see a lot of kids that are sick. It makes me so sad, like with cancer or like so many things, and their parents are like asking for like money and finances to help. But if they had their hospital policy in place, $1,000 a day,
right?
You know.
So is that like a supplemental insurance, like Aflac and?
So the insurance that I have is through Mutual of Omaha.
Okay.
I've heard of Aflac.
Okay.
But it's really inexpensive.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And also critical illness insurance. That's another insurance. So I want to tap into those industries and learn a little bit more about them and start, you know, teaching our community about them, so that we're not so. Right now, it's just the lack of knowledge. You know.
Correct.
The lack of knowledge, and those insurances, like, people are dying out here. People are getting cancer. People are getting diabetes. People are in the hospital. People are in the ICU. Things are happening, and if you have these policies in place, you know, you could breathe a little bit.
Right.
So I sleep good at night, honey. I'm like, shoot, we cover. My husband talking about, what else we got? I say, baby, we got everything. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Let's go to sleep. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. You know?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to the
Ma'am.
workshop.
Yes, ma'am.
And, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of They Lied About Entrepreneurship.